Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, then welcome to the channel. Ooh. Today I'm really pumped because I am doing just that, putting in a new water pump. I'm going to take out the old one, get rid of these switches, and we've got a Shurflo going in, which works off pressure, not off switches, which is going to make life a lot easier, especially for Mrs. H. And this is what we got. Look at that, quick unboxing for you. Bubble wrap. We've got a Shurflo. Alright, there it is. It's only a 20 psi. That's just replacing what's in there already. It says in the instructions that it needs, well, it says it on there, look, slow blow fuse 5 amp, which is cool. And I've ascertained that that fuse there is a 5 amp and it is connected to the water pump, which is brilliant. So we've already got the fuse in place. And as this is the same pressure as the one that's coming out, it shouldn't, in theory, upset this, which I'm worried about because it's rubbish. Can't wait to get the bubble van's rubbish out of here, but that's another job for another day. So hopefully this will all be plain sailing. It will just be a straight swap. I need to drain what water's left in there. We've let it run quite low. It is raining outside, so that's a bonus, so I can just let it go. It is fresh water, calm down people. Fresh water into the gutter. There's not a lot in there anyway. And we'll get it in, hopefully. Wish me luck. Got my voltmeter out, just checking stuff, because there is some wires there, but don't panic. They were connected to this. They're not connected to anything at the moment. It's just 2 yellow wires. It's connected to the sensor, which goes on top of the tank. But this has never worked. I've never been able to get it to work. Maybe we can get it to work today, hopefully. But if not, we just do it by guesswork, really. But that's the old pump there. It's an old whale schmoodle doodle. It's got a really long lead on it. I don't know why they didn't shorten that, but there you go. And that's connected down there. So we should be able to just connect that straight in. And hopefully that water pump will go in there upright. And then we can get rid of these switches. At the moment we have to put switches on to work the pump. And what always happens is a tap gets left on somewhere, because we've got a tap here in the kitchen, we've got a tap in the bathroom, and we've got the shower. Someone uses the shower, leaves the tap open, because as soon as you turn the pump off, the water stops and you forget to put the tap down, and then you go do the washing up and the shower turns on. Especially if you're on the toilet and somebody does the washing up and you're sat in the toilet and the shower head's right above you. Brilliant, that's happened a few times. So putting this in should eliminate that. It was only 50 quid or something like that. It's been on the list of things to do for a couple of years, actually. I just haven't got round to it, because I thought, well, all the time this was working, I'll just leave it alone. And I thought, well, it can't last forever. It'll eventually break. But it's kept going and going and going. So it's come with a couple of connectors here. We've got an angled one and a straight one. Hopefully I can just use those and not have to go and buy anything. And some instructions, which I'm going to peruse while I drink my coffee. And there it is. It's out. It came out really, really easy, actually. So it's just got to go in there. That's just the overflow there. So I'm going to try and get it on that back wall. And hopefully we can just plumb it straight in and just connect it and we'll be good to go. So obviously I'm going to have to kill the power before I connect the electrics. But I'm going to see if I can plumb it in first, water-wise. Bingo mass, there we have it. It's in, and it works. But now my mirror doesn't work. I'll explain. This switch here can now stay, because that actually isolates the pump. So that just stays on now. And, yay! Bingo, works. But, problem is, my mirror now doesn't turn on and off, because there's lights around this mirror. Because it's on the same circuit, so it's interfered with that somehow. Right, that's good news and bad news-ish. Was tight, but it works, which is great. It was straight in, didn't have to do anything, just wired it up. Here's the old one. That can, I don't know, maybe go for sale, perhaps. Don't know. So now I need to figure out a different way to wire the light on the mirror up. Yay, sussed it. I had to run a cable behind there, all the way up through there, which come out up there. I missed the first time, did the hole too low, so I'm going to have to fill that up, and then I ran cable all the way along there, all the way down there, all the way under there, and into the USB socket there. So now, the mirror has its own power supply. Brilliant, nothing to do with the pump. Now, I've made an absolute mess everywhere, so I need to clean up. It involved a lot of soldering, but it works. If you like the look of that sink, check out our Etsy shop. Link in the description. Hey up people, it's been a couple of days and we have used it now for a couple of days. Had a shower, Tracy had a shower. It's so much better and the pressure is actually better as well. Didn't go mess on all of that, that's really cool. What I'm doing now is making more mess, of course. And I'm painting the shower tray again. I know you've seen me do this a few times, but we've changed the paint we're using. And now we're using this stuff, which is a chlorinated rubber paint suitable for swimming pools, ponds, wet rooms, all that kind of thing. It's really stinky. It's 40 quid for that, but it goes a hell of a long way. I've only used about that much. I've done my mate Danny's tray, couple of coats, done one coat on mine, and I've literally used that much. So it's going to go a long way, which is good in case we need to put more coats on later. But it is like a rubber paint and it seals everything as well. Should be non-slip, we'll find out, but it does dry glossy. I'll show you the first coat. So that's one coat on there, and that was in a bit of an old state, and it dries like that. It's literally dry now, I think. Yeah, it's actually dry. So I did that about an hour ago. It's recoatable every 4 hours, so I'm going to leave that till about lunch time and do another coat on it, and then that should hopefully do it. So if you're interested, we got that from Trade Paints on Amazon. It was about 40-ish quid. Right. So as far as van jobs go, there's still some more things we want to do. That I want to replace the two skylights, the one above our bed, one above the cab. Not for a Max Air fan, but for the Max Air Sky. No, Max Sky Air or something. Just a normal one that opens up quite wide as well. But they're about 120 quid each, so we'll worry about that a bit later. But that needs doing, and obviously I need to paint the outside of the van. But so what I shall probably do is the outside of the van coming up soon. I'll order some coach paint. It's only 50 quid for a gallon, which probably will do it because it's just a touch-up job. A little bit of rust to do around the cab, not too serious. So that'll be coming up soon. And obviously I'll have to replace the decals as well. Oh, and induction hob. Power news is, since we put the Fogstar in, we just like got 100% power all the time, and it's great because we don't have to worry about it. We can put on anything we want. It hasn't fused, but I haven't really put much load on it. I think we've had like up to about 1,000 watts, 1,200 watts, and it's been fine with the 3,000 watt inverter. Some of you great people out there have given me advice on all that kind of thing, which is great, and I really do appreciate it because I'm learning as I go a lot of this stuff. And apparently a 3,000 watt inverter doesn't necessarily mean you get 3,000 watts. You shouldn't really run it over probably 2,000 watts. So that's something to bear in mind. But that's okay. That's fine by me. In the instructions, it says to run it at 80%, which is about 2,400 watts, I think. But I think 2,000 watts is probably a safe benchmark to go with, which is fine. I can still run an induction hob on that, no problem. So on that, I'm going to love you and leave you. Why didn't I do that water pump years ago? I don't know. Just been struggling on with the old system, but that was dead easy. So yeah, if you are looking to do that, then it's dead easy. 20 psi is plenty enough pressure anyway for a good shower. That's what we thought. God bless you. Catch you the next one, where we probably will be doing something a bit more interesting or less interesting. I don't know.
We'll ride these roads forever, side by side we'll chase the sweetest moments whispered in our little space. With laughter and loving every turn we take, this thing called amazing race, no chance we'll break.